Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I am good.
So,
Yeah.
good morning, y'all.
I missed it.
Nope, you didn't. You know about it. We were talking about the affordable housing group and how awesome that is. What a great way to bring people on the team.
Mhm.
So I would,
Awesome that Craig is going to help lead us there.
I think he's a good match for it also. I really do. I think he's a good match. He's ready for it. He'll be good at it. It's his passion anyway. It will force him, and Bree knows this, when you take on a role like that, it forces you to do your own crap.
Yeah. I'm going to be rude today.
Oh, you be rude all you want. Bree, what'd you say, sweetie?
Who are we talking about?
Craig. So Craig is kind of the affordable housing group. Exactly. So Gary and I were chatting a little bit. We were bandying a couple names around. And I'm like, have you talked to this other person? He's like, no. And I'm like, I really think Craig would rock at this. I really do. I think he'd be really, really good. And Gary is like, yeah. And Craig and I've been talking since Friday, I think, just back and forth, bouncing around the idea and, what it would look like and stuff like that. And so yesterday, as Gary was talking on the team meeting, I literally texted him and I'm like, because he was talking about core groups and we're gonna do some more stuff with the groups and da 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 da. And I'm bouncing back with Craig. I'm like, yes or no? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, yes. So we announced it last night in the meeting.
Yeah, awesome.
I know, I think so too. I would not be surprised if that group didn't swell up pretty large, pretty quickly, because I think there's a ton of interest in it. And I know that I want to use it I said I would share the stuff we're building out. I will show you guys the stuff we're building out. There we go. So let's hear some good news while I'm dinking around here trying to find the stuff on Ava's board because I think I just found it. Nope, that's the benefits. All right, let's hear some. I think she moved it into done. All right, let's hear some good news because otherwise I'm just going to sit here, which I am going to, and figure this stuff out while you guys are doing that. What you guys got?
Since people are kind of looking like they don't know, because Bree always has good news and she's not jumping forward.
I want to hear you all's good news. You have
always got amazing, huge, great news. My news is usually little bitty things, but here's my little bitty thing now. And I did go to the vision planning thing yesterday down in Midlothian, near Richmond, and started a vision board. But the best part, I think, of course, was the networking. And it was a relatively small group. There were supposed to have been 23 people there, all EXP agents. It was at a new title group that was kind of fun. And out of that, at least 3 of them have a lot of interest. I don't know if it's to the point that they might be coming to our group, or if some of them are going to reach out to you, Gina, because I know at least one person I mentioned that you had a really great thing that you're training in success. And there was interest. So there's that. Yeah, you're welcome. And like I said, at least 2 or 3 people said they were going to reach out to me. And the
Cool.
topic came up about wholesaling, and that's why I brought it up in last night's meeting, which you didn't hear because you jumped off, which I would have normally done.
I heard you mention it, and then I heard Gary say, look, da, 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 and then I was like, I really want to go.
Right, but he went into a very quick detail of how it works in this scenario.
Mhm.
And it came up because the broker was there. One of the brokers for Virginia was there. And when wholesaling came up, she flat out said no. And then I went, yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's a way. And she went, I'm leaving. I don't hear anything. Bye.
Yeah, and I understand why a broker would do that. And we've had this conversation with our brokers through my Keller Williams brokers also over when it's okay and when it's not okay. And there is a scenario where it is okay. There are many scenarios where it is not okay and people are taking advantage of people and it is flat out wrong. And that's
Wrong.
why
That's
most
wrong.
brokers like this. Because usually oftentimes what happens is it's preying upon either the feeble, weak, or old. And it's saying, I can get you this much money for your house, when in reality, the best thing for that person would be to list it for that particular scenario, would be to list it. They'll get a lot more money, et cetera. But there's some people that it is not in their best interest to go through the process of listing their house. Maybe they're a hoarder. Maybe they're really, really ill. Maybe maybe there's some other issues, that is not, they're not going to be able to handle the stress of listing that property. So there are scenarios where it's appropriate. It's easier. It's oftentimes more appropriate to do in a down heading market than in the upswinging market. In an upswinging market, it's almost always better to list it because people will buy even if it's really crappy condition.
Right.
Again, almost always. So I get why a broker's like la, because I've had 2 brokers, attorneys, and both of them, I just sit down and go, okay, hang on. Is it appropriate here, and here? Yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, she did add in that scenario that she had done wholesaling herself and done it in a good way.
Ethical.
Yeah.
Ethical.
In an ethical way that didn't harm people.
Bingo.
And she said, but I can't hear. There's times where I can't hear things, and I'm not
La,
in
la, 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 la.
bye.
Yep.
Yeah.
As a team leader on occasion, it was la 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 la, like go away.
Yeah. So I
totally
thought
good.
it was good in a few different ways.
Yep, coolio.
Yeah.
All right, who else has got some good news?
So I had a hell 24 hours.
Oh, no wonder Bree said back a bit. Sweetheart, what's going on? Okay, hang on.
And allegations against my son that I was mistreating him.
Say what?
shit.
You did what?
Yeah, so I had an investigation open by Child Protective Services. I was like, really? Your timing sucks, but okay. So that was Monday night. No, that was Tuesday night. I get a call from CPS saying, we want to come to your house now. I was like, you know what? I'm going to cook, put my kids to bed, not worry about you. You can come Wednesday morning, do all the investigation you want, but you will be out of my house by 8 a.m. So they did. It's unfounded. It just raised my anxiety level.
Yeah.
So, and your house has to be perfect. Because even though if they come in for one thing, if they find something else, you don't have child locks, if you don't have, and then and once they're in your life, it's just horrible. I've seen what they've done to, so I was like, you know what? So it's unfounded. Christopher's fine. My house is fine. I told my kids, I was like, if you have something that you shouldn't have, now's the time to dispose of it.
Yeah, get rid of it now.
Get rid of it now.
Do they search through your stuff?
They have before, they have the right
I
to.
mean, I know that you're an adoptive mom and a foster mom, and so it's a little, like, I can see why they would go more in depth, but wow.
Yeah.
They
So,
can do
I mean,
just about anything.
they're not really trained. Like I've had more training than they have.
No, there's not training. My cousin, Greg's cousin, actually works with CPS and Adult Protective Services over like the past 12 years or something.
Right.
And seriously underpaid. They don't care. It's just a government job for the most part. Kind of, it's pretty horrible. And in some states, Washington State in particular, there's story after story after story of horrific situations that kids are in, and their policy is to keep the family together at all costs. I'm like, well, then what damn good are you? You know?
Yeah, and the cover is
Yeah.
amazing. Like, and so I was like, there are other bigger things to do than investigate me because I found out because of a rash on his bottom.
Oh,
He's had chronic diarrhea and they don't test in the first year and a half of life. So they gave me topical stuff. And I was like, it's not working. And so
Right.
then I sent him to a GI doctor and he's allergic to all these things. We cut him out of his diet. No diarrhea.
Yep.
Like-
Yep.
And his bottom's raw. So I'm like, you know what? Really? Somebody called DCS for that. There are kids literally that are being abused, and you're going to spend your time.
Because
Okay.
it's the butts red.
Right.
I
So-
have a little butt too, and I had I don't remember, it's not A&D ointment, it's the one that puts the white paste on his butt and powder every time to try and keep his little butt. I mean, he just,
I've got it all. Like I've got the white paste, I've got the pink paste, I've got the blue paste, I've got Vaseline, I've got the, and he's white. And so it just shows up.
yeah, my son's white too.
Right? I mean,
oh,
his bottom is just bright red. And
Yep.
so that was by 8:00. I get my twins in the car. They have holes in their clothes. Wardrobe malfunction. I had to take them home. We're late going to school. I'm making, my day's just like behind. The good thing, his teacher from last year was like, you know what? I missed that. He is so wonderful. We, like just all these accolades. I was like, well, thank you for what you do. He's like, are you a teacher? I was like, no, I'm a real estate agent because I need to buy a house.
There you go.
As I was behind, I got to meet this teacher and he needs to buy a house. So the thing is, things work out. God is good. He doesn't like ugly.
Now, I love that story, and I'm sorry that you had to go through all that. And does it not feel on occasion that real estate is an emotional effing roller coaster?
Yes.
It really does. And I know it did in mine too. It felt like real estate was like, because it was like, hey, list my, $20 million house. Hey, you suck. Da, 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 da. Hey, I hang up on you. Hey, it was just like this. And when I took Bold the first time with Keller Williams, which I really liked some of the stuff in Bold, a lot of the stuff in Bold, actually, I liked. But one that always stuck with me is keep your emotions between the lines.
Yes.
And I suddenly realized that I did not know how to, I was like 43 or something at the time. I really didn't know how to regulate my emotions that well. And I didn't, I just sort of rode the wave up to that point. And then I had to learn that to kind of keep them in this range. And I knew, even though I rode the wave, if this client was horrific, that client that I turned around after I hung up the phone 3 seconds later and walked in the next door never knew. Like, I am really good at that one. You have no idea. Everything's always wonderful. We move forward, da, 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 da. And it's not to say I'm not real. It's just that at that first meeting, you are not going to have to deal with whatever I just had to deal with here 2 seconds ago. But that emotions between the lines thing, that was a really important lesson for me personally because of this thing. So
and you should teach us that.
that's keep your emotions between the lines.
Yeah, how to do it.
Your emotions between the lines. 6 words.
Scream. No.
That's actually a really good thing. How do I do it? I do know when I was brand new in sales, one of the things that I would do is on my way, I didn't take phone calls in between meeting with people, and I had really good music. Like I was very, very particular all the way down to, like, at the time it was probably cassette tapes, to making sure there was a mixtape. So I wasn't dealing with, I can't find a good song. And I used music to make sure that, because I was very concerned that I, who have massive energy and always come off when people first meet me, usually as like mega high energy, was like, well, make sure my energy's high. Your energy's always flipping high. Like, you're fine with that one, but that's what I did to make sure it was that. So that might be one. And I don't know what else there is. I have to think on that. So Liz, what's your Bree, congratulations. I'm glad that
Thank-
you.
Oh, I found an organization for women real estate that are in commercial real estate.
Cool.
So I'm joining that.
Cool beans. All righty. Miss Liz, can you talk? Oh, I don't know if I know she was on the road. She has an appointment.
I thought that was yesterday.
Let's get another one today. Maybe she can't. Okay. All right. I'm going to share screen and I'll show you guys what we built. I'm pretty sure it's going to go on the website. And then after that, you guys can use it also. I know I'm going to put it up as soon as we get our website up and going. Let me get rid of wealth determiners. Zoom screen. Okay. Can you guys see this performance metrics?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's up through partner.
Yep. So this is what we built. Gary has this thing that he shows people that's like it's like basically a spreadsheet, and it's just so flipping dry, but it shows like what your commission is, what your cap really is going to be, what your income could be, how everybody moves to a 5%, 95.5 afterwards. So we took it and we built this using Gary's colors, blue and a little bit of red. We pulled off of here to use his colors. So we built this one. That's the first one that we built. And I built it personally because I hate his spreadsheet graphy stuff. It's not, it's full of information. It's not marketing. And I wanted to get a marketing piece out for it. So this is, Gary just approved it 2 days ago. So this is completely available. It went to Gary and Paul. I think they're going to put it up on the website. I'm not positive on that, but I have it. We're using our KV Core. We're going to build it out as a Success Magazine page first. The only reason we're doing that is because Success Magazine won't have their site ready for another 2, 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it's going to be. So we're going to hack KV Core for that. And then once Success has their site, we're going to migrate everything over to their site. And then we're going to build out our KV Core or possibly go high level. I'm not really sure which one. If KV Core won't do everything I wanted to do, I'll switch over. But whatever. This is one of the pieces that's going to go on mine, but it's available if you guys want it also. We can get it out to you. So that's one. And then the other one, if I close this, I don't know if it's going to let me show the next one. Can you guys see professional development and team progression now?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So what this is Gary had another one that basically was like level 1, this is the training you get, level 2, this is the training you get, level 3. And I liked it. Again, it's just a spreadsheet. Honey Badgers had a really cool one that dealt with what it feels like to be at all those different levels. So again, it's another piece for attraction. So what we did is we took Gary's, which is basically up here, that says that on level 1, you're probably 1 to 12 deals a year. You've got level 1A marketing path, basic coaching, access to our training programs, etc. Level 2, 13 to 24 deals a year. This is the marketing path, advanced coaching, mastery, executive owner, etc. But we did down here, we did what you're going through. So at level 1, here's the pain, here's your current situation, here's what it feels like, here's your mistakes, here's the X factor that's going to take you up to the next level, here's what goals you've got all the way through. So if you're doing 0 to 12 units, you feel lost. If that's all you're doing in a year, you're lost because there's no way. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people retain knowledge from one contract to the next one. They only write 3 or 4 a year. Like contracts change, stuff changes. 2 might be buyers, 1 might be a listing. It's just really hard to maintain. You feel lost all the time. If you're 12 to 24 and you don't have your team, your systems like TC in place and some stuff like that, it feels like quicksand. You're focused on getting listings. This level, which is 13 to 48. No, it's 24 to 48, 25 to 48. Whitewater, you're looking to build your brand, you're looking to build your team, you're looking for multiple streams of revenue. It feels like chaos. Here, going back one, you're spending money on things that don't work. Moving up to pushing towards 100 units a year, so 50 to 100 units a year. It's a whirlwind. It's crazy. You're looking for talent. You're looking to build a team. You're trying to find leadership within your team. And then up here is 100 units or more. It's a flipping tar pit because you don't have the right business model. So it just, come on in the room, PF. It just is, again, it's another marketing piece that kind of walks through the different levels of where people are, what their pain points would be, and then how we address those things. So there you go. All right, that's my good news. So challenges or PF, if you got, or input, or do you guys want any of this? They're Canvas. We can probably PDF it and get it out to you also. I don't know what size they print because we built them for web, but if you have Canva, it's very easy to take anything and resize it. You just literally click resize.
Yes, please.
You got it. Okay. All right, PF.
Yes, hi, good morning.
Good morning. Showtime. What you got?
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you for always being ahead of the curve. To you, Gina.
Thank you.
You were the first one to ever tell me about Trello. And I was like, oh God, one more thing.
That's kind of what I feel like.
Yeah, and now the rest of the company is like, yeah.
Okay, just to let you know, I got it from Andre first. I had heard of it from David on our team, had not done it. And then Andre, well, kind of did it half-assed. And then Andre is like, you need to do this. And so he really kind of got me in. And then I just played in it because I feel like the best way of learning is just to play, just play. And then once you play, you'll get a good grasp of, what things will do. And then from there, I got serious about it. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
But I wasn't the trendsetter.
Oh, well, you're usually in the leading edge. You're amongst the so yeah, that's what I want to say.
I know. Wait, more. So no, I'm joking.
That's all right.
Yeah. So what kind of good news you got, PF?
Good news. I don't know. I just finished the morning stuff, and I didn't get to make my coffee because I pulled a muscle. So now I'm running like slow motion, so I don't upset my left shoulder.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I don't know. Maybe because I was leaning on the couch watching the Hallmark Channel last night.
Okay, so that's a problem. Did you ever think when you got old that, like when you were a kid, if you ever heard an adult say I slept wrong, you were like, how do you sleep wrong? I mean, it's sleeping. No, you can sleep wrong. You can lean wrong, you can whatever, wrong. I also read something this morning of how people can tell that people are Americans. And one of the ways they can tell, they said Americans lean on things. And so when directors work with Americans to not look American, to look, British or Italian or whatever they're supposed to be portraying, it's like, you cannot lean on anything because Americans will lean, which I thought was interesting. The other thing,
I never noticed that.
I never had either. The other thing I heard about Americans, which I was like, yep. If you ask them how far away something is, they will tell you not miles, hours. It takes 45 minutes to get, how far are you from, if anyone asks me, how far are you from Orlando or the airport or Disneyland or whatever, 45 minutes. I'm 45 minutes from everything. I don't say 45 miles or 30 or whatever. I don't even know what it is. I'm 45 minutes. That's how we track distance in America, which I find is interesting. So
that is fascinating.
Isn't it?
That's true. I do that all the time.
I know, me too. And you can tell East Coast from West Coast because in West Coast we drive, hang on, I think it's I've been both coasts now, so I forget which one I do. I think we take the I-10, the I-5, the 99 over, but on the East Coast, you just take 95. And 75. And yeah, to get around places, which I find really, because I'm like, it's not just I-5, you take it's the. And I think,
but we'd also say for interstate. We
no,
just
you
say
know,
the number.
Yeah, we had literally, it was I-5. Or
Yeah.
well, we didn't for like 205 and 405, but we did for I-5. Anyway, all right, challenges. So who we got? Anybody got anything for our last couple of minutes?
How do you get your name off of all the marketing things in EXP that come at you? In particular, healthcare.
Oh my God, I so want off the healthcare list. I tell every single one, stop. It's constant.
I
It's
swear they
horrible.
just changed the number and send it again.
I think they do. I really, really do.
Any
You might
ideas?
not have gotten my first text. Hell yes, I got 87 of them. Leave me alone. I don't know. I don't know. That's a really
Okay.
good question. You know, maybe pop into somewhere in the world and find out who can get us the tech, maybe who can get you off of everything. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's up there. Because part of the problem that I run into with being, not only with EXP, with anything, is that I don't know what comes with us as being an EXP and what's just marketing.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
I do know that there's a list on EXP World of the benefits of being an EXP. I do know that. I do know that like the marketplace in EXP World would be another place to go around and go, you know, what do we get and all that kind of stuff. So I know that, and like they
Yeah,
just
but
said,
a lot of those people in the marketplace are people that are trying to sell you stuff.
yeah, everybody's trying to sell you stuff. Absolutely.
You know,
10,000.
I don't need, when I don't make enough money, I need to know how to do things without being bombarded with a bunch of
Okay.
different stuff.
I agree. And so that's a really good challenge. And here's why. It really is. Here's why. When you're underneath, in the beginning, let's just go with it that way. You should run, and in a bad market especially, you should run really, 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 really,
Lean.
really lean and mean, like as lean and mean as humanly possible. So it's really analyzing your what kind of business you want to go after, and then not paying for stuff and making sure that you get as close to free as possible, with a couple of exceptions. I feel, this is just my opinion, first, do your first 1 or 2 transactions on your own, like learn the paperwork process, because it's a pain in the butt, but you should understand the process, and then never have to do it again, turn it over to a TC. And because a TC doesn't cost you anything until you close. And then other than some things like signage, you don't even really need cards anymore. You will need a sign, you'll need a lockbox, you'll need some things like that, but run as cheap as humanly possible and look for free alternatives or things like that until you're making decent money. And when you're making decent money, what will happen, and I'm going to take that phrase out actually, you're going to hit a ceiling of achievement if you're growing. And I don't know what that ceiling of achievement is. It could, my personal ceiling of achievement, my first one was 3 listings in my active listing inventory. I couldn't bust past it. No matter what I did, I just could not break through and get 4. I'd almost get there, and then one would set, or one would go under contract. I almost get there, and one would go under contract. For me, it was a ceiling of achievement, which I personally feel is a flipping low ceiling of achievement. But that was mine. And at that point, I wanted to spend money, but I wouldn't let myself. And part of that also was because my husband was looking, he was all helping me with stuff, and he was looking like over expenses and all that. And he was like, you're running at 10% expenses. Well, now I know that's really, really, really cheap. And that was for everything. Like my licensing fees, all of that. And he's like, you're running at 10%. And I was like, is that bad? Is 10% or what is it? Actually, it's really good. He's like, you really should stay underneath 10%. And so it was a constant push to make sure I stayed underneath 10%. Now, I thought that my way through that ceiling was spend money on something. I really thought that. And because of working with him, I instead didn't. And I'm so grateful to this. I looked for other alternatives of how to bust through the ceiling. What my ceiling was a lead generation and a mindset ceiling. And it was mostly a mindset ceiling. And then once I understood that and I broke through it, and it wasn't on my own, I had plenty of help to break through it. It was all up here. And then once I broke through it, my next ceiling of achievement was like maybe 20 or 30 listings in my active listing inventory, somewhere around that range. And I started bumping along there. and I couldn't bust through it. And that's when I did the team and brought in all of that. And then the next one for me, I was hovering at 85 listings. Again, only active is all we ever counted. We didn't count under contract. So 85 active. I knew I could probably get it to 100, but I also was on the lookout for a listing specialist, because I knew that was, I can't do over 100 by myself. I was really starting to push up at my 85. I was starting to head into 40 hours a week, which I did not want to do, blah, 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 blah. So don't spend money. Wait till you hit that ceiling of achievement. That first ceiling of achievement is probably mindset or systems. And one of those two is going to break you through it. The second ceiling of achievement is probably going to be have money involved. Money might mean tools. It might mean people. So prior to that, busting through that first one though, lean and mean as humanly possible. It is amazing what we don't need. We don't need business cards. Everybody thinks we do. I've not had a business card. My last business card, hang on one second. Somebody did some for the coaching site, which I didn't like because they were free ones. This one has my address. When I was a team leader in Fremont is what this one is. That's my last one. And I haven't had business cards. If I was actively doing real estate today, I still wouldn't have a business card. I really didn't use business cards my last year and a half of real estate, other than in Washington State, when you show a listing, you must leave a business card. Like legally, you have to do that. So I had to have some for that. But other than that, I didn't use it. Can I get a business card? Oh, hang on, I don't have any. Can I get your information, please?
I have this. And it has an NFC chip in it. So you just put it up to the other person's phone and your information download, and then they can send theirs.
Yep. Get it right then and there. If I was brand new in real estate today, I would make sure that I had, when I got a listing, I would make sure I had my key box and my sign, because obviously you'll need a key box and a sign. I would have flyers inside the house. It depends upon the area. Some people still do flyers outside. If that was your area, then yes. If it's not, no. I would have flyers inside the house, and other expenses. I would still bring people. I brought people lunch on moving day. I brought a big lunch from Costco. I got Costco like sandwiches, thing of apples, the case of apples, 12 apples, whatever, a thing of muffins, the 12 muffins, a case of water, beer or wine, if I knew they were beer or wine people, otherwise no. So they had lunch, and a thing of Dove chocolates and a bunch of, there I did have business cards because I wanted the movers and their family and their friends to get business cards. So there I did use them. I did that. And so I would still do that for an expense. And then if I had somebody that was referring really good to me, I took to their work within after a referral, I would bring them a bouquet of flowers, balloons, and something to eat, snack on, like mini muffins or cookies or something like that I wanted, or a box of chocolates. I wanted something on their desk because, especially if they lived in cubicle land, because they would see me walking in with balloons. The balloons are above the cubicle so everybody can see them. And everybody goes to their, as soon as I leave, everyone goes to the cubicle, they see flowers.
What'd you get?
Yeah, exactly. What'd you get? What'd you get? And oh, that came from my real estate agent. And my real estate agent doesn't do that. And that's why I did that. So I would do things like that, but I wouldn't spend money on pretty much almost anything else, literally almost anything else. So that's just, again, that's me, but I'm looking at my business model. What do I want? I want referrals. I want to be able to be face-to-face with people. I want them to know they're not just a transaction. So I'm going to be there on moving day after we've closed. I'm going to call them the day after, and then periodically I'll call them at the day after. How'd you sleep? How's everything going? Do you need anything? 1 week, 1 month, maybe 6 months, a year, and then every year after that. So you're going to stay in, and you're going to get, I did do newsletters. I did do those because I like to write, and that lines up with who I am. and my newsletters. I didn't like the change your clock crap. I wanted it to be very much what was going on in the world today. So I would do it like in this market, I'd do tons of economy stuff and what's going on nationwide, what's going on in the housing market. And then I would say, but what does this mean in my area? And I would purposely do that to let them know this is what's going on in the nation. But like we heard last night, the guy in the Bay,
California.
yeah, Danville, 20 offers, 10 offers, 12 offers, I don't remember what it was, but it's a pile of offers on that listing. And I'm like, yeah, that's
And
what it-
200,000 over.
Yep. Yep. Which sounds like a ton, but the house is probably around the minimum 1.4, 1.8 to start. You know, I mean, it's just
Crazy
damn
California.
Danville's nice. Yep. So I need to lower my hand. Because my computer now, if it sees this, it will actually apparently put up hands for me, which
Saw that you had a hand up there.
yeah. So, all right, y'all. So that was a good one, Kathy. So run lean and mean, bust through your first ceiling, looking through systems or mindset to bust through it. And then once you get to the next one, then start looking at what can I do that will give me back? What's taking the most amount of time that I can leverage off my plate? And then once you leverage a piece, you leverage it across everywhere. So like I told you I did a newsletter. So that newsletter became also an article in the paper, also became a blog, also became a blah, 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 blah. So you just look at how do I leverage this thing across as much platforms as I can in order to go get me the type of business I want, in my case, listings, because I went after pure listings. So how do I leverage this for listings everywhere I can?
Yeah.
And until then, it's no, which
Yeah,
makes
I
it
just
easy. No,
Don't want all those emails in my thing.
I hang them to, oh, get a chunk email or
Do
use
what?
either get a chunk email or use a filter. So Gmail has great filtering systems in there. I have my Gina is my agent email, which now is my garbage email. Every time any website that wants my email, Gina is my agent. I will never, in contests and shit, I'll never see it. And I don't care. I really don't. And then I keep Gina as my hero for the business side of it. So change where just use a garbage email. There's other ways that you can use email to find out who is sharing your stuff and spreading it too.
Yeah, I got to go over that again too, because I don't remember, and I tried it. I thought I had remembered and tried it and it didn't work. So I don't have that information down good. You shared it before that your husband had done.
I know, and I can't remember it for the life of me
Yeah.
either. Something like putting the name of the company after it or something like that. I don't remember, but something like
Yeah.
that, dash or slash.
Well, whatever it is, it would illegal. I didn't like it.
Yep. All right. Anything else before I water my plants in the backyard and then go in my little car? Oh, no, my husband's big car, and we drive to Boca Raton. Boca Raton is waiting for me. All the party waiting for me.
Mm.
Oh.
I'm gonna
So
go blank.
no call tomorrow, right? I'm
Yes,
sorry, Kathy.
tomorrow.
No, there is a call tomorrow.
Yeah, I know exactly. I know what I want to talk about, which 99% of the time on the Friday call, I do not know what I want to talk about until like, hang on, what are we going to talk about today? But this time, I know.
So you're gonna have the beach on the back as a background?
I will have some hotel room, God knows where, some sort of background.
Oh, all right.
That means she's got to get up early, go get her Starbucks, and go to the beach.
It's only going to
Yeah.
be 67. I am bringing very warm clothes, and I don't know how much beach is in, or 62 or something like that, and windy as hell. So I don't know how much beach, but that's okay. We're still going and we're still exploring it. So I don't care, whatever. We're done
Yeah,
COVID.
no.
Banyan
Yes.
trees is what I was thinking of when you said PF and you interrupted.
Banyan trees are in Florida?
Oh God, yes, I love them.
Do you
I
know they
love
pick out
them.
have y'all ever been to Oahu?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Oahu had have you?
Yeah.
Remember the old banyan tree on the, okay, so they have like the world's largest banyan tree. It was maybe a city block. And so do you guys know Bree, do you know what a banyan tree is?
No.
They're
So the tree
amazing.
goes up, and then the branches come out, and then it grows back down again. And then, so
Becomes more tree.
the branches go out and then it grows back down again like another trunk, and then it grows back up again and it goes out and goes back down again. And so
So cool.
makes like tree entrances everywhere. Like you can walk in and in this tree because it just arches for you.
You get to
Oh,
play in them a whole bunch.
Oh, it's so beautiful. They're just gorgeous. Well, Hawaii had one that was about as big as a block and the square block. It was huge. And they had little shops in all of the little archways of the banyan tree.
Oh,
It was very cool. They ripped it. Oh, and I'm like, oh, I went to Oahu. The first time I went to Oahu, it was there's this long street. I can't remember the name of it, but there was just nothing but shop, 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 shop. My girlfriend and I went, and we had a hotel at the top end of it, like a mile off of the beach. And then we would walk down every day, shop, go to the beach, spend the day on the beach, and then walk and shop our way back and eat lunch or dinner or whatever. And it was very magical and fun and all that. And then I went back to Hawaii and all of that was ripped out and it was all replaced with really high-end expensive stores like in Paris or you know, who knows, New York, any big, huge, major world-class city has that row of that stupid expensive shopping. And I'm like, all the magic was here, and these little tiny stalls that the shop was as wide as a human being, and then the counter, and that was it. And it went stretched back, you know, way back, but it was only this wide because I had to cram so many of them in there. And it was just magical, and you know, you didn't know what you were going to find. Who knows? It could be anything, and it's all gone, and it's all now like Prada and Gucci and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like,
First,
Wow.
when you said you were
Funny how-
going, first when you said you were going to Boca, I was thinking it was the Boca that I like that's down there, but it's wrong coast. So there is one that's down on the other side, south of Venice and all that. And they have tons of banyan trees in this little town. It's so cool.
All right, I'll go check it out because we don't think we're gonna go Massive Keys because it's so cold. We think we're gonna swing around, at least hit Duck Key and down around a little bit, maybe drive down and then come back in and maybe work our way up the coast, because there's an Amish city and there's also a Greek city. And so I would like the biggest Greek population in the United States is in this town. And so there's
That's where the sponge diving is,
oh, okay.
I think,
Oh,
because
cool.
that's where I stopped the last time I was down there.
Yep.
Hmm.
All right, cool. I will not be diving. Okay. Anything else that I've taught you guys this year off? And it's 15 minutes afterwards anyway. I so appreciate you guys. I cannot tell you. Bree, I know you left me a message and now I'm sad because I didn't listen to it.
that's it.
I'm going
That
to.
was it.
Well, I'm going to now because I want to hear it again in your ears, or out of your voice. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow morning, and go sell a house.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.